Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy holidays. As we get closer and closer to Christmas, I hope everyone is enjoying their December. To remember out there, I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta. Welcome to our very first postseason rewind right here on the Pregame Show Network. The rewind came to you during the preseason, it came to you during the season, and now it is the postseason, but the game never stops. And you can't have a game without the biggest pep daddy of them all, Uncle Neely, joining us from Jackson, Mississippi, with the beard that stole Christmas. What's up, brother Neely? How you doing, man?
Man, I had no idea which way you were taking that. It could have gone so many ways. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You can't win, but you can't get out of the game. I didn't know where you were going, but you teed that up perfectly. How's it going, brother?
Hey, man, it is going good, man. I saw that book in Target today. The beard. No, it wasn't a book. It was like some beard ointment. The beard that stole Christmas, and I was like, that's my man right there. I got to use that, Uncle Neely.
Hey, speaking of beards and ointment, you're about to hear it here first, Holly. Uncle Neely's beard oil is dropping in January.
Holy macaroni, Batman! Neely, you got it. Your beard has an NIL, Neely.
Man, we are working through some formulas and fragrances, and we almost got it narrowed down. We got the bottle narrowed down, the label. We're gonna roll it out in January. Uncle Neely's beard oil is coming soon.
I love it, man. Neely, you are dropping game on what to do when you shoot your shot. You keep shooting, man. You don't sit back and look at it like, oh, look at that. I made a bucket. You put up more buckets. Neely, way to go, bro. Way to go, man.
Man, somewhere out there on the savannah, there's a lion sitting with his fellow lions. And he ain't talking about the 10 and 12 antelope and gazelles they had last year. He talking about what they gonna eat today. You have got to keep hunting. You got to keep eating. Bellies need filling.
Woo, baby. I might grow me a little something, Neely. I have to check out your beard, or boy, I might have to. I don't even know what mine would look. Mine would look like an inverted Michael Jackson if I tried to grow a beard. I don't know. I might let that go. But hey, Neely, I tell you what, Colorado has not let go, and that is recruiting. The portal is open. We got high schoolers signing. We're going to rewind what has happened. We're also going to talk about Coach Prime Season 2, but the big news has been the offensive line signings. Neely, in case people kind of, fell asleep a little bit once the season ended, it has been a busy time for Colorado on that O-line. They said they needed to address it, and they've done just that early on.
Did just what they said they were going to do. Coach Prime and Corey Phillips, Director of Player Personnel, they made it clear to anyone who watched Colorado football, it was clear. And it was especially clear to Deion Sanders. We had got to get a better offensive line. And, man, as soon as the season ended, as soon as the portal opened, that's all you've been seeing is what we knew that would happen is that qualified offensive linemen with experience, not guys who were backups on teams, but guys who were starters on teams with experience, with pro-grade ratings, are flocking to Colorado to play for Coach Prime and protect Deion Sanders. As we sit here and talk, already 5 offensive linemen have signed, one of them number 1 in the country out of IMG.
And Neely, it is a perfect scenario for an offensive lineman because there's going to be so many cameras on Deion Sanders, so many nationally televised games in prime slots. And when you see Deion Sanders, you're either going to see one or two things. You're going to see a pocket around him protecting him, or you're going to see him running for his life. And if you make that pocket whenever they see Shedeur, the people that count, the people that know what they're looking at, i.e. the scouts, they're going to see you doing your job.
Yeah, and that's the mantra. That's what the selling pitch was. That was the point of getting kids to want to come to Colorado and protect Shedeur. In business, you look for juxtaposition, you look for contrast, you look for what's different now. And when you look at the way the offensive line played previously, any guy that comes here and the numbers get better, you're going to be the reason for that number getting better. What a wonderful opportunity, moving to the Big 12, playing schools like Oklahoma State, Central Florida, Cincinnati, the list goes on as they go to the Big 12 for the first year under Coach Prime. What a wonderful opportunity, man. You saw Shedeur's numbers were right up there with the guys who were receiving Heisman finalist votes, but he was sacked over 50 times. Now you bring in a new offensive line that can clean that up. What are his numbers going to be this fall, man? I'm predicting now that Shedeur Sanders will be sitting in New York as one of those 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy, just off of what he brings to the table and his new offensive line protection-wise.
You know, I was listening to the radio. I missed it on TV, but they were talking about the Heisman Trophy winner this year from LSU. I think it was about 58 touchdowns. I think 18 were rushing, about 40 passing. So I'm looking at what that line is, Neely. You know, quarterback's always going to be in the running. If that's the line, you feel comfortable with that line?
I do. I feel comfortable in a couple of ways. One, you know, shout out to LSU for getting that Heisman guy in there. Another transfer guy wins the Heisman Trophy. 3 of the 4 finalists were transfer guys. This is a new age of college football. When you look at the numbers he put up to win it this year, what put him over the top, I think, were those rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, because passing-wise, he was still right there with the other finalists. I believe that Shedeur Sanders, with proper line play, is going to get you close to 4,000 yards and going to get you close to 40 touchdowns. He had 30 touchdowns, being sacked 52 times. What is and over 3,000 yards and 75% plus in accuracy? What is going to get you with a pocket? The arrow is only going up, man.
All right, so that's something to talk about a little further down the line, but let's go back into the rewind. Coach Prime Season 2 has dropped on Amazon Prime. You can see the first 2 episodes right now, later this week. And it may have already dropped if you're a little late here to the rewind, but episode 3 is on the horizon. And Neely, you really summarized this. I don't know if we said it on air or just you and I were conversing. You were like, everybody knows what's going to happen, big picture, in this documentary. They know the games they're going to win, the games they're going to lose, but millions are still going to tune in to see how it all went down. Neely, it is just, there was so much footage. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that, or Neely shot that, or I remember that, or I edited that. It was on my computer screen. But when it's all put together, man, into the jambalaya, it is still just compelling content.
It is. And you know it, being a content creator, editor, and journalism guy yourself, lenses matter, perspective matter. And although you have the pregame show there daily, as well as Reach the People and Well Off Media, the Amazon documentary is a different lens, different editing, different concept. They do some different things in depth with player personality development and storytelling. So even though you know that the season ended with 4 wins, you know, you have to sit there and watch that documentary, because one of the things it's going to show you is some of the why some things happen. A lot of people were complaining about, oh man, why this kid isn't playing, or I wonder why they got dialed up that play, or I wonder why they didn't change this. The way the Amazon is packaged, documentary is packaged, you get to see some of the thinking behind some of what you just saw the outcome. So it's, as NBC would say, man, it is must-see TV. It has moved up to number 1 in just in 2 episodes on Amazon Prime, and there's more episodes to come, man. 3 is dropping this week. So make sure you go check that out. You're probably going to see a lot of a guy named Neely in that episode, and well as episode 5 down the road.
You within the first 5 minutes, I saw you in episode 1. It was the part, I won't give away big spoilers here, but it was like, everybody take off your helmets, and they like huddled around, and there was Neely, right front and center. Just, you on the job, man. You stay on the job.
You have to be on the job, Tyler.
You know, the one thing I hope we get more insight into, and I just hope, I feel like we won't, because I feel like the mystique is probably the greatest part to this character. But the brother that's always around Coach Prime with the hat, man, I just want to know about this guy, because I have seen him so many times. He's just like the mystery man. And for some reason, I just want to know, like, what's his backstory? Like, who is this guy?
We get more requests in the pregame show email and inbox about Officer Michael Rhodes and what his story. Rhodes was with Coach Prime at Jackson State, part of his security detail, joined Coach Prime out of Colorado, still part of the security detail, but he's known for that hat and that beard, man, and the way he's always just off the shoulder of Coach Prime, but right there if needed. But I think if you keep watching the documentary, man, you're going to hear and see more and learn more about Officer Michael Rhodes. product of Jackson, Mississippi, and Jackson State. And also, we went to high school together. Well, he was my brother's classmate at Jim Hill High School, but we attended the same high school. So Rhodes, man, good guy. And Tolly, you ain't the only one. Everybody wants to know who's the brother in the hat.
I mean, I just want to hear him speak. I don't know that I've ever even heard his voice. Like, just let him, drop a few bars, and I'll be happy, man. For some reason, he's just like the character you want to know this inside Coach Prime's world. There's a lot of funny stuff, man. Here's something to look out for. How you could work in the term porn star, and I don't think it would offend anybody. It makes sense when you see it. It's just that access and how they really, to quote Coach Prime, how they get down, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. You really get to see it all.
Yeah, it is all access like the pregame show, and it's all unfiltered, You're going to get to see how the program operates under Coach Prime, his thinking. You get to know his assistant coaches and get to know a bevy of players that kind of like you're talking about Officer Mike Rose that you see all the time, but didn't get to hear them speak or really get their personalities and highlight footage or post-game interviews. But so it's chock full of stuff like that, man. And even though you know the outcome of the season, this is a can't-miss-it documentary that really shows how Coach Prime's programs work inside.
Let's give a shout-out to some people. First, to our entire audience for the Pregame Show Network, and also the fans of thepregameshow.com. Look, whenever you start a new website, I don't care if you're covering Michael Jordan, Deion Sanders. It takes a little bit of time to get into the ecosystem of the internet, and you're not going to be a million views from day one. But our traffic has increased really more since the season has ended, really. But however we get there, we get there. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported the website. One of the stories that we were talking about, and I think we just put out, the economic impact. Let's rewind some numbers, Neely. You can get more in-depth at thepregameshow.com, but Coach Prime and his presence and his influence, his effect, dropped the bag on Boulder this year, Neely.
When you look at the CU home games and the economic impact of people traveling in and staying in hotels and going out to dinner and buying merchandise, you're talking about over $110 million in new revenue during the home football games combined. What an impact the Prime effect is having in just that regard. You can't deny that hotel rooms are not only sold out when they play at home, but they're charging more for the rooms. The restaurants are full. The gas stations are full, all because of what Deion Sanders has done for this community of Boulder, all the way out to Denver, just surrounding Colorado. You saw the same thing happen in Jackson, Mississippi. The scale was different because the population was different, but during those home seasons in Jackson State, tax revenue from the local businesses were through the roof, meaning their profits were up. I just hope that the business community in Boulder, the visitor and convention bureau in Boulder, would get together and say, hey, it behooves us, it's in our best interest that we plow some of these funds back into Colorado football. And that's where we're seeing this spike from. So let's help Deion Sanders do more of what he's doing and not just walk off with the rewards.
All right. I have no idea what the answer to this question is. I have no idea if you've even, had a chance to do the research at all. Are there billboards of Deion Sanders around Boulder, Colorado? Did you see?
I have not seen it. There are billboards in Los Angeles from Coach Prime and the documentary, but I have not seen any as I travel from Denver Airport to Boulder, in and around Boulder. I can't say that I've seen his likeness on billboards.
All right, Boulder Visitors and Bureau Convention Committee, get on it. Get on it. You got to show the love. You better show the love. Show the love. Heed our words. Show the love. Neely, I want to go back to we talked a little bit about Jackson State a little bit with connections. I say this every time. I always find the win. I always try to find and point out the win. Within the first two sentences of that documentary, I heard Jackson State. I saw Jackson State imagery throughout that with flashbacks with Travis Hunter. I have not gone back to search this, but I'm going to do this, and maybe we can talk about it next week. I'm going to see if there was a spike in search terms or search traffic for Jackson State when these episodes drop. I still think there's residual wins there because even a year into Colorado, a documentary that comes out after the season, man, they're still talking about the Tigers.
And you got to love it. I'm a product of Jackson, Mississippi. I'm a Jackson State graduate, Jackson State contributor to athletics and beyond. And anytime that you continue to have an HBCU mentioned, what that means for the brand and what we call earned media, you cannot put a dollar figure on it. And Coach Prime and Jackson State will always be connected, no matter where he is or where he goes, because it was his first head coaching job. Won 2 back-to-back SWAC championships and undefeated in conference fashion. So everywhere he goes, Jackson State follows and is right there with him being mentioned. And not to mention all the content that's out there, on the internet and the television networks and their social media platforms. You can't delete that he sat on the Tonight Show with a JSU jacket on. You can't go back and remove all those Sports Illustrated covers with Shador, Coach Prime, and Travis Hunter on. It's a win-win-win for anybody and anything that's connected to him because when he moves, everything moves up with him.
Yeah, and I really loved it. At one point, they put a lot of respect on Shador's career at Jackson State, giving credence to the fact that he was going to be the starter coming in and, not pretending that, everything that happened at the FCS level didn't mean anything. So that was a good sign as well, from where I was sitting. All right, Neely, we have to get down to the business at hand here on the Rewind. The real reason why we're here, just to, pat ourselves, on the back a little bit. We started the season. The Pregame Show Network had a lot of subscribers. By the end of the season, we had a lot more. And as a part of that gain, you were recognized by the good folks at Google. How did they recognize you for crossing over the 100,000 subscriber mark?
You get this nice plaque. They send you this nice plaque, Tommy.
Look at that, man. That's nice.
100,000. And, I'm going to push back on something you said. You said I, and it's really we, because make no mistake about it, without Coach Prime, without friendships and relationships like Tolly and HBCU Game Day, there's no way we have that accelerated growth to 100,000 subscribers, man. It's been a wonderful journey. Shout out to everyone who has subscribed. Shout out to encourage you to continue when you watch videos. Hit that thumbs up for the like. Tell somebody else to subscribe. It all helps grow the brand and expand the narrative and the reach. But we have officially, Tolly, reached 100,000.
Boom, 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 boom. Look at that, Neely. Look at you, man. Look at us.
And Tolly, we can actually drop it right here. We spent some time with Coach Prime, with some other brothers in content creation, and I was able to dedicate the plaque to him. So y'all be sure and check that out.
Yeah, that's coming up on the Pregame Show Network. Really cool stuff there. Neely, let's have we're just going to make up a recognition moment here. Our subscriber of the year. Can we just say subscriber of the year? Big shout out to Mama T.
You have it. Look, let me tell you this, man. You ever watch a game and somebody like 56 points, 18 boards, 12 assists, and the announcers are sitting there playing around like they wonder who the player of the game is going to be? There is no doubt about it that Mama T out of Carolina area, man, there's no doubt about it. She is a subscriber and fan of the year, watches, comments, shares, likes, sends in contributions. That's who you're out here working hard for, man, to, the people who show love like that and that appreciation. Shout out to Mama T, man. Like always, positive energy in the comments. Host of others too, but if you had to pick one for 2023, man, ain't no doubt who it is. MVP.
Hey, you got to step your game up. She came with the Louis from day one, Neely. Mama T settled in with the Louis, baby.
Absolutely. Much love to her. We appreciate all the support she gives. Reached out to her, got her address, and we're going to put something special in the mail to her from Coach Prime.
Oh, snap. That doesn't happen every day. Neely, you see behind me, man, I didn't even put my Colorado stuff up. I am so geared in, locked in on the Celebration Bowl this week. I know that's, last 2 years you were there with Jackson State. They came up a little short, but gave us great entertainment. That last second send it to overtime touchdown with Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter, man, that'll live down in the annals of history forever. But we got FAMU, we got Howard this week, man. That's a pretty significant game when you look at HBCU alumni bases in Atlanta. FAMU and Howard, I really don't care who wins the game. I think this is set up to be like a week for the ages here in Atlanta, man.
Let me tell you this. You couldn't have asked for a better matchup between two storied HBCU programs to be meeting in Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. When you look at the spike that Jackson State and Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, caused in the Celebration Bowl in the past 2 years, the only way you have a chance of matching that and or exceeding it is making sure that you get schools like this involved. And I understand that John Grant and ESPN don't pick the winners. It's the winner, the SWAC, and the MEAC. But you got to be in the back room somewhere with your fingers crossed, because when FAMU won the SWAC and Howard won the MEAC, you couldn't ask for a better setup in Atlanta for participation, not just in the stadium, but on TV and merchandise as well. So shout out to Celebration Bowl and all the work that John Grant does. And, I got to say, Tolly, I'm a SWAC guy, so I'm going with Willie Simmons and FAMU. That's what I'm pulling for the win, to see Willie Simmons get a Celebration Bowl, something we didn't do the past 2 years at Jackson State. We got there, but couldn't win it. I hope Willie pulls it off.
Yep. Shout out South Carolina State, North Carolina Central. They won the last two. A lot of people will be pulling for FAMU. I got to keep it neutral, Neely. I don't need the people. I don't have as many Mama T's on this side. It'd be Mama what you say. That's what I got over here.
Hey, man, I got a bunch of friends at Howard, man. I get you. Bunch of friends at Howard. I understand. But, man, it would be nice to see, finally good to see Willie Simmons get that SWAC championship as well. But he's a great coach, hell of a man. Would love to see him get that Celebration Bowl win over Howard.
Yeah.
Coach Flea went to Howard, man. And so it's, he wish balance. Coach Flea will be pulling for Howard. I'm pulling for FAM.
All right, there you go. There it is. And shout out to Coach Larry Scott. He came in there and he had a plan at Howard, and he's really done a great job there as well. So congratulations to both schools. Neely, we've heard about offensive linemen. That was obviously the number one priority. But I got a feeling that Colorado is not done, and we might see some different groups being discussed here in the not too near future, different position groups, and maybe filling some holes down the line.
Tyler, I'm looking around to make sure nobody's looking, but we're about to start opening some defensive gifts. When you walk into Christmas morning and you see those presents under the tree, you got to open the big ones first, Tyler. You kind of know what's in the big ones. We needed offensive line help, so you started opening those early. But now that we're getting even closer to Christmas, man, I think you're going to see Coach Prime announce and unwrap some defensive help, not only on the defensive line, but also at each level. Linebacker out there with the corners, and probably got a good safety coming as well, hint, hint. But I'll also tell you this, man, you signed, once again, the number one player in the country. It happened with Travis Hunter, joining Prime at Jackson State, then subsequently Colorado. Kermani McClain, number one, came to Colorado. Now I'm number one offensive line of Colorado. I believe, Tolly, in the next couple of days into next week, it's going to be another big splash as well, but on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, we got to get our brother, Coach Carl Reed, back on. Get the big boys fired up here in the offseason, and he can really give us some of that analysis about the impact of some of these big names and highly rated prospects coming to Colorado, either through high school or the portal. That's going to be interesting to have that conversation. Neely, before we get out of here, man, let's give some flowers to Coach Dancy. Since the last time we've talked, his life has changed a little bit, coming over from Mississippi Valley State as an analyst, and now he's going to be coaching outside linebackers for the 24 season.
That's correct. Coach Vincent Dancy got to know Coach Prime while he was at Jackson State, and they established a favorable rapport. Coach Prime even visited Valley, while head coach at Jackson State, to see what he could help out with Valley's needs. And when Coach Prime made the transition to Colorado, one of the first people he called to extend an offer to join him was Coach Vincent Dancy. He did that on the defense side of the ball as an analyst, working very closely with Coach Dennis Thurman and defense coordinator Coach Charles Kelly, who came from Florida State and Alabama. Well, now Coach Dancy has his own room in Colorado. He is the defensive end outside linebacker coach, a group that looks to really get after the quarterback and cause some pressure, some sacks, some fumbles as well, and even score defensively. Coach Dancy is no stranger to the team, although not directly involved in coaching players as an analyst. Was around the building, speaking to the players, giving presentations in the morning, from a professional development standpoint. So they have heard his voice before, but now he has his own room that he can put his fingerprints on. And make no mistake about it, man, there's a lot of guys with Coach Prime's staff that have been head coaches and that I predict will be head coaches again at higher levels with bigger schools. And Coach Vincent Dancy, Jackson State grad, Valley's previous head coach, is well on his way. First things first, though, congrats to him for getting his own room in Colorado. Those defensive ends, man, I'm looking for him doing a great job.
And let's be clear, this was not a case of, let me hook my boy up or let me just look out for my cousin over here. Vincent Dancy is highly regarded by Coach Sanders.
Highly regarded. And I'll tell you this, man, and a lot of times Coach of the Year goes off records. If not for Deion Sanders being undefeated at Jackson State those 2 years, either one of those 2 years, Coach Vincent Dancy could have easily won Coach of the Year, because what he was doing at Mississippi Valley with far less scholarships and far less infrastructure just shows the acumen and ability of his coaching. Now that he has some resources behind him, Coach Prime understands, like, man, if I saw this guy do it and be competitive in winning games without, what is he going to be able to do with? He has a command of defense, high defensive knowledge. No doubt in my mind, man, the defensive coordinator of the Power Five, let alone head coach of the mid-major all the way up to the Power Five, is certainly in Coach Dancy's future, and Coach Prime recognizes that.
And so some people, that might be Colorado fans that didn't keep up with what was happening in HBCU football or the history thereof. Coach Dancy was a hell of a player at Jackson State.
Absolutely. He knows game, man. He's played the game. He knows how to communicate effectively with players as a former player himself on the defensive side of the ball. He also understands the nuances of special teams and is able to coach there. He doesn't have that gray hair or thinning hair that you and I got, Tommy. So he's still young and got the energy to do it. And he's probably got another, 30 to 40 years of coaching life in him. So this is just the beginning of his uprise, man. Going from head coach at Valley to now having a position room in Colorado. Coach Prime understands and trusts Vincent Dancy to get the job done.
In the community, Coach Dancy has a highly regarded fade.
Even has a name. It's called the Dancy fade.
That fade is on point, brother. I can't even grow enough now to get that nice, juxtaposition between what's thick, what's faded, what's mid-fade.
I got it, but I don't want to risk cutting it. It might not grow back.
Real talk, man. During the pandemic, I grew my little Lionel Jefferson afro out, man.
Hey, first Lionel or second Lionel?
First Lionel. That second Lionel does not. He is not. He is not in the canon of Jefferson lore. I don't know where they got that second Lionel. Now that first Lionel, legit.
Second Lionel and second Aunt-Ville, they in the university on. You got to give me the first Aunt-Ville and the first Lionel.
I mean, I believe the first Lionel. Like, that brother was authentic. You could not tell me he graduated from Juilliard or UCLA. I was like, they found that first Lionel off the street. Like, he was on point. That second Lionel, nah, man. They saw him in some Shakespeare and said, "Come on down."
Lionel Jefferson, you're gonna get it all on the rewind. You're not gonna just get the recruits. You're not gonna just get the economic impact of Coach Prime. We're gonna break down the two Lionels.
Let's end with this, Neely. Man, I used to be cool, right? I'm gonna start there. I used to be cool. I go shopping last night for my kids. One of my daughters needed a sweater for a party. I said, I'm gonna pick up a sweater. We're gonna be doing a lot of content this week. I need to freshen up. I can't wear a hoodie every day. So I went. We were in H&M. Decent price. Nice little brand. Nothing to be. Not that I will buy some clothes from Target too. Don't get it twisted. But I went to pick out a sweater, just solid color sweater, and my daughter, who's soon to be 13, was like, "That looks like something Bill Cosby would wear." So put it back on the shelf. So today, I was like, I'm gonna feel a little Christmassy, a little red and white. We had a call, had an opportunity earlier, me and you, just to kick it with Coach Prime a little bit. And I hadn't seen him in a while. First thing he does is log on. Hey, who this dude up there looking like Bill Cosby? I have gone from I used to be cool to two people calling me Bill Cosby sweaters in the last 24 hours. I don't know what happened, man. I used to be beautiful. I don't know what happened. Me and G Money, we used to be beautiful.
Tyler, I got to tell you something. I called myself doing this to help you because I did not want to give him information ahead that way he could plan his joke. So I didn't say, hey, by the way, Coach, Tyler's going to be on this call with us. I really wanted to see his reaction from having seen why. He watches the rewind. He loves the partnership that we're doing. But I know he hadn't talked to you directly in a minute. I said, I want to see his face when he goes and sees Tolly's face. And when he immediately started hazing, I said, you know what? This is great content.
I take it all in stride because, and I take it as a compliment, because if you think you're a friend of mine and I don't pick on you, you're really not my friend. If I don't come for your neck as soon as I see you, we're really not friends. So if you're watching,
he is the same way. If you don't catch a jab every now and then, it's a professional relationship only.
Yeah, we are acquaintances at best. All right, so let me get one more in on you, Neely. Here's what I want you to ask for Christmas, Neely. You ready? Whoa! The heck?
Where did that come from? All I did was thumbs up like that. Now the thumb is back.
Because I love my brother Neely so much. I want you to, when you get some of that Neely beard oil, man, I want you to put some on your eyebrows, bro. There's still hope.
I think I just need to get a pencil and do like the women do and just draw me some each boy.
I never noticed that somebody in the comments was like, ain't nobody got no eyebrows on the screen. Look.
I remember that comment, and I remember because I had noticed. I remember going back and looking at you and Reed to check y'all's eyebrows. I know mine are non-existent. So I said, hey, man, I was going to borrow some from Tolly, but I look like I got to go outside to get some.
I was like, damn, Neely ain't got no eyebrows. I never paid attention. All right, there's still hope. Santa Claus goes straight to the ghetto. There's still hope, man.
Hey, well, I tell you what, they can keep the eyebrows. I got this.
Flex.
I'm gonna put them right there. Let's put them right there.
Flex.
It's gonna be my eyebrows in 2024.
That's what you do, man. Tell them haters, flex on this right here.
And then I can make a move like I'm asking you a question, like, huh?
That's how you do it, man. All right,
hey, but speaking of haters, Tolly, I know we got a couple more shows before the new year gets here, but shout out to all the haters this time a year ago.
Said you ain't never gonna be nothing, Neely. They had you with the Oprah Winfrey. You ain't gonna be nothing. I mean the Whoopi Goldberg. The Whoopi Goldberg.
They had me with Oprah, Color Purple. They had me with they had Coach Prime like he was Will Smith dad on the Fresh Prince and leaving me. Then they had me again as Fresh Prince standing in the empty living room and all the furniture gone like the last episode. That was all December last year, but look at December this year. And as Oprah Winfrey said at that kitchen table with the family, I know there was a God.
Flex on him, Neely. Flex on him, brother. Flex on him. All right, man. I know we'll chat again before Christmas. So I won't wish you a Merry Christmas just yet, man. But I'll be talking to you soon. Don't forget episode 3, Coach Prime on Amazon Prime. You can catch episode 3 a little later this week, and we got to get Simone up here so you can rub it in, because boy, them Eagles got stopped by your Cowboys.
I tried to tell her.
We gotta bring her on. She needs her comeuppance as much as she talks.
I tried to tell her. She wouldn't listen to me.
We'll get her on. That'll be my gift to you. I'm gonna bring Simone as a sacrificial lamb here on the Pregame Show Network so you can rub it in. All right, he's Uncle Neely hanging out in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you a little later.